Hi, everyone. This is Stephanie Mann at the Safe Kids Now show. And I am so excited to have you join me today because I have a friend of mine from a long time ago, and we have collaborated on a number of projects, which we will tell you about. But her name is Ginger Gadani. And Ginger has been very much involved in creating her own amazing works. She is an artist extraordinaire, and she's so creative. She says she marches to her own drummer because at age 4, she talked her way into kindergarten. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious she does march to her own drummer. She's also sold 600,000 books, creative books that she created, and I'm so happy to have her join me. So, Ginger, come in and let us greet you. I'm so happy to see you, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Steph. I really like the lead-in. I like the graphics in the lead-in. Very, very, very professional and very good.
Well, that's thanks to my sponsor and my radio station, which is AAU Media, which is on Facebook and iHeart and a lot of different stations. So I'm
YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about you, what you've done, because you were on our program quite some time ago, and you explained to us about what you were doing at that time. But I know you've made a lot of changes since then. You've upgraded your website. So tell us a little bit about what you're up to and why you decided to make the changes.
Well, we made the changes primarily is to keep up with, the changes that are being made so rapidly, via digitizing and all those types of things. So we were able to, I'm working with some friends, Premier Productions group, and they've been helping me do. We upgraded the website. I'm so excited about it. It's very, very up to date, and it can do all kinds of things. You can order things. You can download and whatever. And so what we've done is we've upgraded a lot of our material. We're positioning it, instead of being hard copy, to put it into video and animation, because our primary goal is to find ways to express difficult topics such as health topics or behavioral topics in a very simple and straightforward way. And the way that we did that is that we turned everything into characters. So then like we have Dr. Stethoscope, we have Pookie's Playhouse, we have all kinds of really neat and different characters, and they transcend literally ethnicity and age groups. And it's been a lot of fun with the response that we're getting. At first, we were getting teased about, everyone would think they were too cute or whatever, but even adults, anywhere from kindergarten all the way up to 90-year-olds, especially with our the new program that we have, My First Steps in Learning. And we're doing one, My First Steps in Learning, anywhere from gardening to diabetes type 2.
And these are for children. What specific group of children are you
Well,
working with?
they're not only, Steph, they're not only for children, they transcend all kinds of ages, okay? For the children, a lot, we create tools. We're not a program, we're a project where we put together tools that people can use. And like for the children, the verbiage and the text is to their age level. But as far as the graphics themselves and the information, okay, that we put out is very, very visual.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of fun because it's interesting, like with the 90-year-olds and the older people, they say, why hasn't someone ever told me this? And the younger people, it gets them interested they want to learn more. So as far as the children's age group would be like from kindergarten to about third grade, but the material covers all age groups. So
well, at this point, Ginger, I might mention that we have collaborated with you at Safe Kids Now.
Yes.
And we collaborated on this little book, which looks like, and see the little characters that you did.
Yes.
And My First Steps to a Safe Neighborhood, which is for adults, basically. But we also get young people involved in going door to door and neighborhoods together. So
we also did, which I thought you came up with a wonderful name called Tip Tunes.
Oh, yes.
A cartoon. We did those. And then we also did a character for you. It was like a sleuth in French couture. So Granny, and you use that on
Crime Fighting Granny.
Crime Fighting Granny. We had a lot of fun with that. And
as a matter of fact, anybody can see those tip tunes on safekidsnow.com and just look up in the top bar for tip tunes. And you will find some of Ginger's very creative work of art. So she's done a wonderful job, and it really helps sell, not only to kids, but as she says, to adults who sometimes we all need pictures to put it in our mind, help us remember what we're supposed to be concerned about. So,
and something to make light of. And the other thing that we're going to be working on is that, excuse me, CAR has come up with a concept called children's empowerment packets. And Stephanie and I are going to turn one of those packets into the neighborhood. And what it is, it allows children to answer questions, but it also, like on the self-esteem one, we designed like a stage and characters, and then the children can do their own play. And then in the packet, we included tickets that they can give to their relatives, and also shows them how to write a play. So we're getting very, very, very good feedback from that. And we're very excited to be able to do that. And like I said, Steffi and I are going to turn the book into one of those packets.
Anytime that you can stimulate a child's, not just curiosity, but creative ideas that they have, and say, here's how you can do a play, or here's how you can do something creative. And kids love that. Children are creative just by nature, most of them. And I think that's wonderful that you're able to do that. So what else have you been doing?
We just, something kind of fell into our lap on two areas. I met a doctor who's a child psychiatrist, excuse me, a Dr. Mary Zennett. And we're going to be doing Nurturing Parents, Nurturing Kids. And what it is that we've taken a material that I have in the back, a mentoring material that I have in the back of my self-esteem book for children. Mm-hmm. And what we're going to be doing is that we'll be doing it like a PowerPoint or a PDF, just to show the pictures. And then what she's going to be doing is she's going to be doing a live video explaining say, for example, one of the pages is on crushing words. You know, whether you realize it or not, some parents say, "Why aren't you like your brother?" Or
Yeah.
how come you can't do anything right? Or uh, you know, I've told you 17 times. So those are some of the things that I illustrated, and then she is going to set up a video to whereby she can explain how to avoid these things from a purely professional point of view. So we're going to have the professionalism in line with the whimsical characters.
I love
And
it.
then I think she's going to be offering that like a uh, subscription. So she'll be doing like 10 separate sessions.
Good, good.
And then also a part of it, part of the people that do join her session, they will be sent the packet. So then they can go along with it and see exactly what she's talking about. So we're kind of excited about that because we're trying to bring academics and art kind of together in as much as it's more palatable.
Absolutely. You know, words are great, but pictures really reinforce the message, whatever the
Well,
message may
the
be.
big thing now technologically, you know, is all video and
Right.
animation. So, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of join or get left behind. The other thing that just fell into our lap that we're very, very excited about is that I have a friend, she was in the Peace Corps, and I always tease her because I think she's still a flower child, even at this stage of the game. And she has been doing some remarkable work with third world organizations and organizations that are trying to um, promote self-sustainment in third world countries. And right now they're in the process of supplying 150,000 computers
Whoa,
to Africa.
that's amazing.
And so we start talking, and she said, "I want you to meet somebody." And he is from I think it's a Democratic Republic of the Congo in Africa. And they are just inundated with diabetes.
Wow.
And we started talking, and it's all they do is speak French. And it was really clever because it took a while. I'm so dense. He was speaking French, and he had an interpreter. But when we were speaking English, he didn't have an interpreter. And I'm going, I think he
Oh
understands.
dear.
but but the neat thing about it is that he has the passion, and he wants very much to find something that's going to help his people address this program. And because they're so small and because they're not government affiliated, of course, you know, they're always looking for funding. And I said, well, we're looking for funding too, but I would like to see if our program that we came up with all the tools, okay, I don't want to say program because we're not that involved in it as a program as we know programs in the United States, but I see if our project would work. And they liked it so well. What we did is we showed him like it kind of, can you see that?
Yeah.
It shows like the
Right.
symptoms, but they're done in a very simple and straightforward way. So I put together a presentation, and they not only want to collaborate with us, but they want to be partners. So we're working on something now. What I did, I came up with a program that doesn't even require educators or it requires facilitators. It's so simple that they can teach themselves. But what started it all it was the fact that he said something that just resonated. It just really caught me off guard. He said, "How do you teach people about something that they don't know that they have?"
That's a good question.
I thought it was the next. I didn't have an answer. So,
Let's see.
so
How do you
but
teach people?
how do you
Okay.
teach people about something that they don't know they have?
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I came up, you
Well,
probably can't.
wait. Uh, don't tell us what you did and how you did it because we're going to take a little break.
Okay,
And
good.
when we come back, you can tell us what you did and how you did it. So we'll be right back.
Okay.
Throw and Tuck. It's handmade by myself, and you only can get it here, and it's patent and it's Only here at Coco Design. It's like a regular pillow, or you can take the blanket out like so. Fluff up the pillow, open up your blanket, wrap it around yourself, and then you can lay on your sofa and relax with your pillow throw and tuck. When you're done with it, just flip it over. When you don't want the blanket anymore, you just fold it over twice. Fold it over twice again. Fold it over. And tuck it in the back. And there you go. You're back to the pillow throw and tuck. For Coco Design.
Welcome back, and I am here today talking to my guest, my very creative guest, Ginger Gadani. And Ginger was talking to us just before the commercial about how she is making this happen for people in the Congo. So give us a little more information about that, Ginger.
Okay. It's really very interesting because, as you well know, there's all kinds of politicking and all kinds of magistration, in third world countries. But Africa is so uninformed, the Africans themselves, of how epidemic diabetes type 2 is in their location, their community, and their various nations. So there are some people such as Billy, his name is Billy, who has the passion and the desire to address this problem. And the reason that they're doing it is because they want to find a way to teach their people to be self-sustaining.
Good.
Which is really because of the climates, political climates, and all the other type of different tribal climates and whatever. That is very difficult if it isn't government backed. So that's just that's up my alley for a lot of reasons. But
I love it.
the main reason is I would feel very honored and very blessed if I could take my talents and be able to pass them on and to encourage and to show a way how people could be able to make smart choices for a healthier lifestyle. So
absolutely.
So
tell us, I should have interjected here where people can look up your website. So tell us how people can look up this information and see some of your wonderful creative characters that you put in your books and teaching. So what is the website?
It's www.carr, CARR, for the number 4 kids.com.
Great. Okay.
And we just posted the latest packets. We have one on self-esteem, one on
honesty,
smoking. Not yet. Those are to come.
Oh, those are the ones coming up. Okay.
And then the one on the diabetes type 2. And what we added, like, it's for $2. You can download the whole packet. There's about 11 pages on a PDF format. Or if you wanted to contribute $2, and every time someone orders a packet, we provide a packet for a underserved child or adult in the community.
That's great.
And
That's great.
and then what we've done is that also, like if you wanted to do a class or something, I think now we have available 50 packets, and pretty soon we're going to be doing a promotional on that. So you get 50 packets for $89, and then I think we're going to put up pretty soon a 10% discount. So, and that way, if you want those, then what we will do is we'll put your logo on it and we'll put your information on it. So when they go out, then the people that you're going to be giving them to know directly who did it, and they can get in contact with that person. So,
I might also add that you could do the same thing for our little book, which is My First Steps to a Safe Neighborhood. And we have our logos on the back, but people can put on their own logo, right?
Right. But we're trying to get away the hard copy, because now everything, and primarily because our printers cannot get the supply of paper.
Oh.
So, because of expediency and because you really don't have a choice. That's why we're doing the packets that you can download as a PDF file.
Great.
So if you notice that a lot of our material is going that way, and then eventually, like I said, with my friends with the production company, we're looking into making our material into videos and animation, which we're really quite excited about. And of course, it just excites the child inside of me, as you probably noticed. I never have grown up. But to answer your question about what we came up for the Congo, our motto is keep it simple and straightforward. It's also less is more. And sometimes, when you're trying to take something complicated or whatever, I don't think you really realize that that's hard. Our society is such as that it's easy for us to make things complicated, but or confusing or whatever. But it's very difficult to take something and make it simple, make it easy. So what we decided to do, and then also they need a source for funding. And we didn't want to have it like a program, like we handled all of it. We wanted them to be able to do it. I think hands-on is some of the best teachers. And we want them to show the children that, to use their imaginations. I think if you use your imagination, sometimes you surprise yourself, how much you can accomplish. So what we did is we made it very basic. And like I said, everything now has to be documented. Like you have to show mathematical proof that what you're doing is showing that you have an improvement. So they have what they call a lot of pre and post testing. So right. I came up with the pre and post test, and I came up with how to formulate the test to show if there is an improvement, because there's a lot of them out there that I think it takes someone from MIT to understand. So we tried to make the calculations as simple as we could to prove either there was an increase or there wasn't, or where there's a need or where that need is being made. So we set up a program. This is rather large. I don't know if you can see it. But what we did primarily is we started out with explaining what the disease was and the numbers. We didn't tell them anything about it, okay? We just explained information and documentation on how this disease was affecting them. And then what we did is we did the pre-test. And it had questions like, does sugar cause diabetes? Knowing full well that they're not going to do that well on the test, but at least it gives us, a line on which we can compare. But then what we did is that we introduced all of the organs as characters. We have Latifa liver, we have Horatio heart, and we give them a little bit of information what it does. Like did you know that the kidney produces 40 gallons? It filters 40 gallons of blood, every day, but little bits of information. And then from there, what we did, we went into the symptoms, like I had showed you, the thirstiness, but we did them as a pancreas, as a character. And then from there, it went to eating well, and which is interesting because I had to look up what foods are healthy in the Congo. You know, I can't put like a hamburger and French fries like we have
No.
on our American book. Okay, so doing that, and then then it goes to how the disease affects all the organs I had introduced you to previously.
Hmm.
So
I
then,
love that. You know, Ginger, I think that is a fabulous way to help people understand their own body parts. You know, most people don't even know where the pancreas is, and they don't know about the kidneys filtering blood. I mean, there's so much that we
well,
don't
it's
know
all,
about our own bodies.
and it's very basic because the thing of it is that, you know, you have wonderful, wonderful information and pharmaceutical companies that give out wonderful materials, but, and they're beautifully put together. But we had a health fair one time, and one of the larger insulin companies had these gorgeous backdrops, movies, and everything. And we had our what was it? I just showed it to you. We had our little book, just our little book about diabetes. Okay, just this tiny little book. Steffi, I swear to you, none of their material was touched, and we had to go into our storage to get more books. Everybody picked up our books and didn't touch their books, and their books had far more information. So what we're trying to get across, especially right now, what we're trying to the people in the Congo to get across is that you don't really need a facilitator to do this project, and you don't need an educator. This material is just knowledge. It's just information that you can use as a cornerstone. And if you do
That's
this,
super.
it's just like in kindergarten, you know, you have
Yeah.
to learn your ABCs before you go on, you know, to learning, you know, English. Okay. I mean, well, not even that, but you know, all the parts of the
Well,
structure.
you know, that is the best way to learn is, you know, start with the very basics, which you're doing. You know, we have some questions here or comments. One is from Cecily Hutchinson, and she says, I'm here, and she's listening. And so is Kathy Robinson. She says, hello, nice to join you. And Ginger Graham says, good morning. Are these items, can you buy separately in a bookstore, or is it targeting classrooms? Maybe you can answer that question for
Yeah,
Sherry.
they're on our website.
Okay.
Okay, some of the things that I'm talking about are for sale on our website. It's meant for we're targeting and marketing to homeschool primarily because of COVID. You know, there's a lot more of that. But like I said, this thing with the Dr. Zenit and especially with the Congo just kind of fell into our lap. So as we do the program, we will be producing it, you know, for public audience. But what the neat thing about this, the arrangement that I made with the Congo, is that they will give us testimony, and they will also give us the numbers from the pre and post tests. So that will help us to authenticate in the direction that we want to go with the digital idea that we have, and be able to get maybe we can get some company interested in sponsoring it.
You know, Ginger, I think this information is so valuable and so important for children and parents to help their children learn and to help them learn. And I love what you're doing, and you've been reaching out into the Congo. That's amazing. Good for
Well,
you.
they invited me. They wanted me to come, and I said, "Well, I don't know. I've been there before, and when I left, I wasn't revered, so I don't know if I should go back."
Well, I got another question for you. Can organs be made online so kids can manipulate them?
That's one of the areas that we're looking into. That's a whole different area of technology. I mean,
Yeah.
they're coming up with ideas that are. We do have a DVD where there's an interaction. We try not to say to children wrong or right, like if they get an answer, there's like bells and whistles and that kind of an encouragement. The thing that I'm most excited about is that all of our material literally has been written by children. We had when we did our music, it's kind of reggae rap music. My name is Big G Godmama. And when we did it on smoking, and we said, "Don't puff your life away." And this little 6-year-old comes up and says, "Good beat, nice sound, should do well." And I'm going, wow. And then when we did Dr. Stethoscope, I have my friend who's English, and this 9-year-old little girl came up and she said, "He should be a bit more uplifting, don't you think?" So,
Kids are so honest, aren't they?
Our games, our book, our material, all of our tools are from children's mouths.
Okay, give us your website again.
It's www.carr, CARR, for the number 4 kids.inc.
Okay, great. Any final thoughts for our listeners or anything you'd like to add?
Yes, there is. I think it's really important. All of us are given gifts. We may not recognize it, or we may think not, or we kind of, put it off. But all of us are given gifts. Like my background's in science, and then because of the experiences that I had, and I do this for my godson Tommy, who died of leukemia, and I'd written him a little book on Color Me Well, and he wanted me to do it for other children. So, but the bottom line is that everything, that makes us feel good about ourselves, I think they're gifts. And the most important aspect of a gift is to share.
Yes.
And so I feel that I've been extremely blessed on so many levels, and I've been bestowed so many gifts that I find a great deal of enthusiasm in trying to find ways to be able to share them. The irony of this is, in the United States, my God, they have so many, what I want to say, political agendas and whatever, in these larger corporations or even these associations. And the big joke is that, geez, you can't sell anything in the United States, but you're going to supply the entire continent of Africa. So.
Well, I have one final question for you, Ginger, and that is from Cecily. She wants to know, what are some of the foods in Africa that have been deemed good or not so good? Do you remember that?
It depends on the provinces. Okay, like in the Congo, they do eat a lot of meats, but they also eat fish, and they have a lot of grains. But then they have a lot of other foods that they have different names. Like you'll have a culture that has a particular name for a food, and then you have to find out what it's made of. But they do have. And they grow produce, but they do have foods that offer protein, which is very, very promising.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for being with me today, Ginger. You've given us a lot of wonderful information, and all of us love what you're doing, because it's so important for our children to know about diabetes and what are some of the things that can help us in our lives, make our lives better. So, thank you.
It's like you said, and it's what we really, really believe, is to provide certified data for people to have smart choices,
right?
And to provide and to make smart choices for a healthier lifestyle. And the real big thing that I'm excited about in Africa is to provide self-sustainment.
Right. Well, thank you for your presentation and for the wonderful work that you are doing. All of us really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity, Steph, and you keep up the good work too.
Okay. All right. I just want to let you know that next week we're changing a little bit of flavor, because we are going to have a comedian that has toured on ships in the Caribbean. And if you've been in the Caribbean and been on some of those ships, you've heard comedians. Well, Greg Schwinn is going to be with us, and he's also coming to Las Vegas. So we're going to have a good time listening to what it's like to be a comedian today. It must be a little different than it used to be. So thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week. Peace.
You're listening to All About Us Radio. We're live streaming 24/7, playing old school versus new school. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at AAU Media, and visit our website, www.aaumedia.com. Call us at 1-833-369-1444, extension 1, and leave us an inspirational message or request. You're listening to All About Us Radio. You're listening